You dressed like Puss Backfoot. I did dress like Puss.
Even in Jamaica, when I was watching TV, I thought that I thought that all of United States
One
was
big culture
like
in New
shock for me
York.
when I moved here. The school that I was working, I have to be with my kids all day except
Hi
when they're
guys,
special.
welcome back to the Canil Mar podcast. In recent times, Jamaica has seen an influx of teachers resigning, going abroad to seek better opportunities, teaching opportunities, and also earning greater earning. Today is Otis Burnett, who is also one of those beneficiary of the teacher exchange program from Jamaica to the US.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm well, and how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. So tell us about Otis before we get into the conversation about the program.
Okay, so taught in Jamaica for 6 years,
Yes.
and taught grades 2 and 3. And in 2019, I moved to Durham, North Carolina, where as a part of the teaching program, and I taught first grade for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually lived there for 5 years. I lived in Durham,
Yes.
and then after that, I moved to Charlotte for another 2 years.
So tell us type of programs that exist for for work and travel for teachers.
Okay, so there are currently I know there are 3 programs:
Yes.
Participate, formerly VIF, EPI, Global, and FACE is actually 4. And then, well, 5. Then you have Teach Savana. That one is in Georgia.
Yes.
But the difference between Teach Savannah and the rest of them is that Teach Savannah offer you the H-1B visa, and then you can transition from there to green card, being a green card holder. The other programs, you get a J1 visa, and you can work for up to 5 years. The initial contract is for 3, and then they'll extend it to another 2 years, so you can stay for a total of 5 years.
But you came on the VIF, right?
Yes, but it's now known as
That's
Participate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was your process like? Like your process, you started in Jamaica. What was the process like for you starting that transition from Jamaica?
Yeah. So if you're interested, first go to the website, complete the application form, and they will go through the process with you from there. The requirement is you must have a bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
and you must have a driver's license to come on the program, and I think at least 2 years of teaching experience.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can't be fresh out of college. You have to have some
experience.
experience.
Yes.
Okay.
And after you apply and you upload all the documents, the transcripts, your verification of experience, that's important as well. They're gonna ask for that, and then they'll do a phone interview or Zoom interview.
Yes.
Right.
Everything's now virtual.
Right. And after the Zoom interview, if you're successful, then in my time, they'll come to Jamaica and do another interview, and you'll also teach a lesson for them. And if you're successful on that round, then what they would do is they would create a profile for you, and then kind of introduce you to principals and schools here.
Okay.
The programs, when you come, you usually go to South Carolina or North Carolina. I heard VIF was putting persons in Florida. No. Some of the programs I hear some persons that they go to Georgia as well. So I think it's those 4 states, but usually most persons go to North and South Carolina.
Okay, but I guess they're expanding the state that
Right,
people can
right.
go now.
So after you're successful, when the recruiters come to Jamaica and do the interview with you, and you teach for them and all that stuff, then they will sell your profile to the principals here, and the principals here would interview you. And if you're successful, then your paperwork would now be sent to the embassy, and then you go there for the visa, and you come up. They pay your plane fare when you're coming up, and when you come up also they have orientation for you, so they're at a
Okay,
hotel for a week.
before we get to in America getting here,
Hmm.
what's the process like at the embassy? 'Cause, people dread going to the embassy
Right.
because they're,
Afraid they're not gonna get through.
yes, and even when you come on some of those programs
Hmm.
too, oftentimes I'm not sure about the teaching program, but everybody get their visa.
Right.
But I know like other work travel program,
Hmm.
there are some persons who might not get their visa. Um, the interview process at the embassy, is it a difficult process? Do you have to prove anything
No,
beyond?
no, it's not a difficult process. For me, it was an easy one, two, three. They just asked me how long have I been teaching, why I want to go and work in the United States, and that was it for me.
Okay.
Um, Based on what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
because these companies are reputable companies, and if you go on the State Department, you'll see VIF,
Yeah.
API, and all those listed on the State Department website. So, based on what I've seen, once you have a job and you
Mm-hmm.
go there with your civis form and all your documents, you'll get the
It's
visa. So, right,
yeah, generally you get the visa. Okay.
right, right.
So now you're in the US.
Hmm.
You're talking about when you get here. What's the process like here?
Oh, before I get to that, so after you do the final round of interview in Jamaica and you're selected, and they would assign you like a mentor who is
Mm-hmm.
already here, and that person would reach out to you, telling you about the areas and help you to find an apartment. I kind of prepare you
Help
for
with
you
your
to
whole
come.
transition
Right,
process.
right,
Okay, that's
right,
good.
right.
That's good.
Yeah,
Because for a lot of people, they might not have families or know anyone in those
in those
areas.
areas,
So
yes.
it's good that they provide transitional support in
Hmm.
the form of an individual.
And to when you come, the recruiting company, they also help you get a bank account. If you live in North Carolina, South Carolina, you have to drive. They help you to get a car.
Mm-hmm.
They help you get your social security, just about everything you need. They are even offer interest-free loans to persons who really need that support. Coming
Oh,
up on the
financial
program.
support coming up.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So, what was some of your surprises coming to the US and, coming from Jamaica? What 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 you thought the US would have been like, and what was it like for you coming?
Living in Jamaica and I was watching TV, I thought that I thought that all of United States was like New York, these tall buildings. So it was my first time coming to the US, and it's a connecting flight through Miami.
Yes.
But to Miami, everything went smoothly. And then when I was flying into Raleigh Durham Airport, I can never forget. And all I was seeing was dirty water and trees. I was like, where am I going? What is this place? But I land and I got picked up and
Yes.
they drove me to the hotel and I was there for about a week. It was a culture shock for me because I was expecting tall buildings and stuff
High rise.
everywhere, high
Yes.
rise, yes,
Yes.
but I was getting to a place full of bush
Trees.
trees.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the south for you.
And not seeing any public transportation everywhere I'm going, you have to drive.
Hence
Yeah,
the reason they require you to have
a
a
driver's
driver's license,
license.
because
Yeah,
the South is not like New York that have that
transportation.
transportation service where you
Hmm.
can jump on a bus or jump on a train.
Yeah.
So you have to drive. So do you think, in your experience, was it a financial viable move from Jamaica to the US? Because a lot of people come because they want more money,
Right.
and also too they want to do things
Hmm.
back home, either finish their house,
Right.
send their children to college,
Hmm.
just overall a better opportunity for their kids. Do you find it to be financially viable for you?
So what I would say is that it will be different for everyone
Yeah.
coming, right? It depends on your financial um
Situation.
right. And for me, it was financially viable for me. I was living in Durham, where again, if you come on the program, depending on where you're placed, your salary could be different as opposed to, let's say, someone in Charlotte or someone in Raleigh or someone living over Fayetteville. The salary
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be different. So it all depends on your situation and what you hope to accomplish
So,
from it.
so do you know what are the factors that determine one's salary?
Depend where you live, your years of experience, and your qualification.
Okay.
So someone in
Durham
Durham
or someone in
versus someone
Charlotte.
living in Charlotte, the person who lives in Charlotte would get more pay as opposed to the person living in Durham, because Charlotte is a city where things are more
More
expensive,
expensive.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone that comes on the program don't get the same salary.
No,
Some
however, you do get the same salary similar to their American counterparts or the American teachers here.
that have the same qualification and years
Years
of
of experience,
experience.
right? And also coming here, you get the company provided with health insurance, life insurance, and everything. So you still get pretty much the same benefits. You file taxes, you get your social security, like I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier on. Yes. And you have the opportunity to go back to school because during orientation, they have universities that come in and will tell you the programs that they have and the
Mm-hmm.
costs and stuff like that. So they try to support you in every way they can.
Are there any financial support to go back to school through like VIF or
During my time, no, but probably things have changed. I'm not sure if they're offering it. But every year, if you want a interest-free loan from them,
via the program?
right, they'll give it to you.
Interest free?
Yes,
Oh, nice.
right, and they'll take it back monthly and for
Mm-hmm.
the year,
Yes.
right? Because at the end of the year, if you choose to go back, they want to ensure that they collect back the money for the year, so
Okay.
they do that.
So you taught in Jamaica for five,
Six
six
years,
years.
yes.
What was your teaching experience like in Jamaica?
Verse.
And then you're gonna tell me your teaching experience now in the US
So
and what nuggets like.
So my experience in Jamaica, I taught in the rural part of Jamaica, St. Elizabeth,
Yes.
where we didn't have much resources. We try to use what we have to our advantage and try to make sure that at the end of the day our kids are learning, they're successful.
Mm-hmm.
So
So what's your experience like here in the US teaching? I'm
so in Jamaica, we use a class size of 30 odd, 40 odd kids.
yes.
Coming here, typical class size is 20,
Mm-hmm.
max 25, right? And everything is done online. Registers mark online, reading assessment is done online, is pretty much technology driven. Um, you have a lot more support. You have the reading specialist that comes in and work with you. If you're in a school where you have a lot of ESOL kids, you have the ESOL teacher comes in. You have the special education teacher that pushes in and pulling out the kids and work with them. You have the speech pathologist, the just about anything you can think of. They're there in the school to support you.
And that never existed in Jamaica.
No,
I don't
no,
remember having all those
no.
teachers either.
Yeah,
It's
if you
just one teacher
one teacher do
that
everything.
yes.
If you have a problem with writing, you have the person who comes in and supporting that as well. I don't know what you call them, but yes, yeah. I remember the speech pathologist, yes. The special education teacher, the counselor,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and you only teach. I did elementary, so
Yes.
here I teach reading, math, science, social studies, and for art, PE, social studies, that there's special areas, so they would go to classes for that, and then you'd use that time for your planning.
Okay.
Yes,
So is that the plan for the rest of the day or the rest of the week?
anyhow you want to
Anyone?
use it is fine. Um, the kids could go to the cafeteria for lunch. Some schools offer lunch free.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where you are. uh, lunch, that's your lunchtime. So the kids will go
Yes.
to the cafeteria. For recess, some schools have persons that take them to the recess, or you would have to go with them for recess. And one big culture shock for me when I moved here, the school that I was working, I have to be with my kids all day except when they're special.
Even during their lunchtime.
Lunch, I had to sit in the cafeteria and eat with them.
Yes.
Recess, I have to bring them outside for recess and stay with them when I was in Durham. And oh, one good thing though, I had an assistant.
Oh, so that
Yes,
was your first school.
my first
You had
school,
an
we had an
assistant.
assistant. Yes,
Okay.
I had an assistant, but only lower grades.
Yes.
When you teach pre-kindergarten,
Pre-K.
kindergarten, first and
Uh-huh.
second grade, and third grade, you have an assistant, but fourth and fifth, no.
Okay.
Then when I moved to Charlotte, I didn't have to sit with them and eat lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped them off at the cafeteria and leave, and then I would have to take them to recess. So it all depends on where you are, the school, the resources that they have. Because I
Yes.
think when I was in Charlotte, the PTA used to pay for someone to come in part time and do lunch duty in the cafeteria. So it all depends on where you are.
Okay, you mentioned culture shock. What other culture shock and or what other adjustments? Because you're coming from Jamaica where
Mm-hmm.
the environment is different.
Right.
Um, everybody look like us.
Oh yeah, the
The
diversity.
diversity. So
Yes. Because I was in a school with a predominantly East Salt population.
so for those who don't know what ESOL mean,
So these are students with second language,
yes.
right? So, but they were mostly children from the Latinx countries.
Okay.
Yes.
So most of them speak
Speak
Spanish.
Spanish,
Yes.
yes. And but the ESOL teacher, someone who will help them with be able to speak English,
English,
right,
yes.
would pull them out, work with them, or sometimes push into the classroom and work with them in a small group. That was shocking. Also, my principal at that school, she was very hands-on and in the classroom. Every day, well, not every day, at least 2 times of the week, should come
Yes.
in, watch you teaching, your feedback. If there's something that she's seeing not doing right, should come in and model it for you. So
Okay.
she was very, from my opinion, she's the best I've ever worked with. She
Wow.
was always in the building, in the classroom, working with you, showing you what to do, support you.
Support, right.
Yes.
Okay. But that's what support look like, And
Mm,
and I guess too, she is from the classroom, so
right.
she knows what she's looking
She's looking
for,
for, yeah.
and she know maybe some of the little success
Mm,
traits, so she's able to guide you more, and that was really good,
yeah.
especially during your transition
Right,
time
right.
coming from
If you
Jamaica.
want to talk about an instructional leader, that's her.
Wow.
Yes, during car pool, she would be outside opening the doors, putting in the kids.
Yes.
Right. And also, we want to watch movie, you'd see the bus pick up the kids and stuff and come in, you actually see it. You see it.
Yes.
The ones
Because in
who
Jamaica we don't have that.
we don't
Is
have the
it that you
bus.
walk to school,
Yes.
you take the regular bus with
But you
everybody
still
else,
have to
or you
walk.
take the taxi and you
Right.
still have to walk to the school.
Miles.
Yes.
So they'll come in on the bus. Who don't come by the bus, they would have a parent drop off line that they would come in, right? And what was also shocking was when they come to school, we don't say prayer, or when we go for lunch, we say
Devotion. Yes.
devotion, read Bible, sing and clap and do all of that. No, we do the Pledge of Allegiance, but that's it,
Yes.
right? We don't say prayer when we're going for lunch, or when we leave and we say what, prayer again, our Father,
Yes.
right? No, it was just they come in, start work, and that's it.
I think for me, when I moved here,
Mm-hmm.
one of my culture shock was in the workplace where I had to refer to like my manager, my supervisor by their first
First
name,
name, yeah.
because in Jamaica it's such a formal setting, and also
Yes.
dress.
Dress.
I remember my first day at work in Jamaica, I would say you dress like puss back foot. I did dress like puss back foot. Yes, I had I had my
Mm-hmm.
nice bag, I had my
Oh.
jacket and my tie. And when I went into the office, everybody was so nice and
Mm-hmm.
soft and casually dressed. It
Right.
was just And then the second day, I took
Mm-hmm.
off the jacket, but I had on the shirt and tie
Right.
until I lose the shirt and tie, and
Mm-hmm.
then kind of wear more like sweater and then
Oh. It's
polo shirt.
it's a more relaxed environment here, just like in the classroom. So when I was in Jamaica, I used to dress up, go to school, my long sleeve shirt and
Yes,
stuff. And here, no, not that. Some schools will ask you to dress professionally,
yes.
but it's not about how you dress. As long as you're coming to work and you're doing your job, that's what's important.
And that should be that should be the most important thing,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do in the classroom? and
Right.
and there's some, I think there's, you should be able to dress a certain way. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to be in jacket and tie, but just
Right.
appropriately,
Appropriately.
not
Yeah.
in revealing clothes and stuff like that.
And in Jamaica, it would always be so strict when it comes down to
So, oh, let's
lesson planning. So you get time
yes.
during your planning to do your lesson plan. You do it as a grade level, and everything is uploaded on Google Docs. We all do the same thing at the same time. So on the weekends, I don't have to spend my weekend writing lesson plans.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
And it's more of a team effort
it's more for team
and not
effort.
just you one writing
Right.
lesson plan for all the subject areas that
Exactly.
you have to teach.
Yes. So I'll probably will sit down and do the plans together. And it's not detailed like step one, step two, step
Yes.
three. It's just something simple. And then probably I'll copy all the math work for the grade level. Someone will copy all the reading and we'll share it. And it's just a team effort.
No, good,
Yeah.
good. So, if someone wants to come on the program and stay like you have,
Right.
um, what options are there for them? What's are available for them to stay after the 3 or 5
5 years.
years?
So you can stay, but before you have to apply for what they call a waiver.
And where do you apply for that?
Through the You have to go on the State Department website, fill out
Mm-hmm.
a form, and then mail it to the embassy in Miami, and then they send it to Jamaica to the Ministry
So
of
that's the
Finance,
U.S. Embassy or the
the
Jamaican
Jamaican
Embassy?
embassy.
Okay.
Uh,
But specifically Miami?
yes, I
Okay.
heard some people say they do DC, but I think Miami is the one that is responsible for North South Carolina region.
Okay, okay.
But you must know that before a waiver is granted, you have to make sure that you don't have any student loan
Yes.
and you didn't stand guarantor for anyone who took student loan, and also you're not in debt to the Jamaican government in terms of having gone off on study leave and should have gone back to work for 3 or 4 years, and I think they call it a bond.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you have to make sure you don't have any of those. But if you come on the J1 visa, you have to get a waiver to transition or to leave the program and do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you come and they teach Savana,
Right.
that's a different process
That
because you don't need a waiver.
No, because that one you come on the H1B
The
visa
visa,
and you can transition from there to a green card holder.
permanent resident.
Right.
Okay.
And there are a lot of schools here that will sponsor you. Teachers are short everywhere. In the US,
So it's not just a Jamaica crisis.
right, it's a global crisis, especially in the US. Because even the other day I was talking to my principal from my old school in Durham, and she said that she has 14 Jamaican teachers at her school.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. So it will not be hard to find a school or school district that will sponsor you. So you can transition to something different if you
When
want
you
to.
came to the US, your point of entry, not point of entry, the first place you taught was in Durham, North Carolina.
Right.
Then you went to Charlotte,
Charlotte.
and now you're in the DMV. You have
Right.
taught in the DC public school,
Yes.
and I won't say the other districts that you've also taught in. So I
Yeah, I know I'm moving on a lot, but guess what?
you've amassed quite a bit of experiences and different difference in different school districts.
Yes.
Is there anything that you have learned throughout this process that
Mhm.
you think could be implemented in like a Jamaican school system.
Definitely. So when I was in Durham, it was what they call a global school. So that's why they also recruit the global teachers there.
Yes.
So what they did was every grade level had a continent. So I taught first grade. So I think we studied South America.
Mm-hmm.
So we would integrate countries in South America into what we're teaching, or reading, or science, or social studies. And for example, fifth grade would study Europe. So they would integrate like England, Germany into whatever they're doing in math and science and social studies.
Okay.
Right. So that was very interesting as well. And of course, we used the Common Core curriculum, right? So
What's that for those who, like myself, who don't know, and for maybe other teachers who have never used that curriculum?
right. So you know, teaching Jamaica, we had this big book with this focus or question, something like that. I don't remember. But in the United States, we use the Common Core curriculum with the standard or the focus question that we want our students to learn. So we would take that, and then we would come up with like activities from, say, for example, Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and integrate it into what we're teaching in the classroom. For example, if I'm doing math, so my word problem would be something about mangoes in Central America, and would use that. The kids would probably make the the Mexico flag,
Yes.
and color it and write about it.
Okay.
Right, stuff like that. They would research all about the Mayans and write about it. Right, so do that. Then in Charlotte, I think it was a magnet school. We didn't do much in terms of um, integrating countries from around the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? But moving to DC and working for DC public schools, that was an icing on the cake for me.
Yes.
Yes, because I was introduced to this curriculum called Eureka Math, which I love. And the other day I was watching a video of this parent talking about we don't carry the one anymore. Which is so true, because how I learned math when I was going to school, like
Yes.
if we're adding 26 plus 56, you do 6 plus 6, 12.
Yes.
Right, the two
Two and
carry
carry
the
the
one.
one.
No, we don't really do that anymore. We decompose the number, and we use different strategies like the arrow way. We use the tape diagram and all those strategies to add and subtract.
So how do parents manage helping their kids? Because like for me, if I had a
Mm-hmm.
child in school, I don't know that I would have to do additional research
To
to
do
probably
that,
kind of figure out this new
don't
way
worry.
of
If you pay me, I tutor your child.
right? I think that's probably the way to go. Get a tutor.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting, because I was learning math with my
With your
class.
class.
Yes.
So does that tap into other skills for the students? Like, we do 6 and 6, 12, put down the
Mm-hmm.
2, carry the 1. Seems quite simple, but the Eureka way that takes it a step
Strategy
further,
based.
strategy based.
Yeah.
What else you think it tap into for those kids? Or like in their development stage?
So it helps to develop their critical thinking skills, as in not seeing problem math one way. It can be solved in different ways.
Yes.
So for me, I really enjoyed using that program, and now moving to a different school district, I still can pull from strategies that I learned from that program and use it now. Even for the reading, some of the things, because since I moved here, I'm for workshops. When you go, they talk about the science of reading.
Yes.
So they're looking at reading from a science perspective. Um, every time I go to the workshops or take online training videos, I'm learning about stuff that I did when I was in college.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's so funny because the phonics program that we're using now, the things that I am relearning and
Yes.
I'm also teaching my kids were things that I did when I was in college. Like the schwa, the 6 syllables of the English language. I'm learning about the vowel theme, open and closed syllables, all those silent E, all those that I did in college. I'm learning them with my class. So
You're relearning.
right.
So in Jamaica, were those concepts that you used to use in the classroom as well?
Not all of them. We did long and short vowels, yes, but not the schwa, two sound blend,
Mm-hmm.
and even the phonics program. It teaches. It's not just, it allows the kids like a sensory base where, for example, for the short vowel, they do the motions like
Yes.
O for Oscar
Mm-hmm.
and I for H, right? So they do that whenever making the sounds. For the for the long vowel, they would like write the letter in the ear like this and say A. So it's very sensory based. And after every lesson that I would teach, they would go online. That's their assessment, and they call it the playground, right? So it's very high technology driven.
Our playground was outside on the football field.
Exactly. So, but for my kids, I want to say, once I teach a lesson and their assessment is online, and I tell them go on, for example, HD playground lesson unit 13, they know exactly where to go, and they complete it.
So I think over time, one of the things maybe Jamaica need to move
Mm-hmm.
towards, it's more of a technological classroom base.
Right.
But I think we have to get internet service
Mm-hmm.
more widespread, especially in rural areas of Jamaica.
Right.
Because I think that's one thing that's lacking. So
Mm-hmm.
even if the technology was available, it would
Yeah.
not be available for some schools because
Right.
they don't have the
The,
technology or the
the
internet, the
resources to
resources,
work.
yes.
Yeah.
So outside of the resources that you have here that wasn't exist in Jamaica, um, is there anything else that you think that was more of a value add with you coming here
Mm-hmm.
that aid in your own personal development?
Oh, a lot. Especially, like you said, I've been around a couple districts. So it's for me personally, I think I know everyone can come, but
Yes,
I would encourage a teacher in Jamaica, if you have the opportunity to come, if it's even to come for 3 years and go back, you should, because you learn so much where not even if you do a master's degree can really give you that, right? You learn
yes,
so much because it's so different from having gone to like a teacher's college or
yes.
university in your degree. When you were in the classroom, and especially moving from Jamaica and come here and merging all that together, it's something very powerful that no one can take that away from you.
So it's a blend of what you learn and employed
Mm-hmm.
in Jamaica. You take here in the US, you learn other things,
Right.
other way of teaching, other way of
Mm-hmm.
instructing,
Yeah.
and you blend all of that together and it's like a perfect
A
marriage.
perfect marriage.
And it works.
Yes.
Okay, so
And that's probably one of the reasons to a lot of schools here, they really go for Jamaican teachers. And like I said earlier on, my former school, the principal said that she has 14 Jamaican teachers. There are some school district where all they want Jamaican teachers.
because you have the academic foundation
Yes.
plus the experience.
Experience.
So when you take that from Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
here, it's value added for the school.
Something
And then you
powerful.
learn
Yeah.
the system here
Mm-hmm.
and add all of that together.
Right.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot because seeing that all teachers can't leave from Jamaica
True, I
and
agree.
Jamaica is now crying that there is
A
a shortage of
shortage.
teachers
Right.
and we still want to continue training and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have you ever considered developing an instructional manual or a workshop for teachers, that
Mm.
you could go back to Jamaica and
That's
teach
true.
some of these new skills that you have
Mm.
learned.
I've thought about it several times, and hopefully one day I will eventually get to it. Especially, I'm thinking, probably I could do a math workshop or something, especially with the strategies that I've learned from using Eureka Math. Even when last year I taught third grade,
Yes.
and when I did fractions in primary school, high school, the only thing I can remember is coloring how many fraction and shaded parts
Mm-hmm.
or adding and subtraction of fractions. But that program I learned to do fractions on a number line, right? And it was such a learning process for me, right? So I thought about it. And you said there's a teacher shortage in Jamaica. So sometimes when I think about it, and we have several teachers' colleges in Jamaica,
Yes,
right?
teachers' colleges and universities that
Universities,
offered.
and we train thousands of teachers every year.
Yes.
So probably government could do something where offer person scholarships who want to become teachers,
Mm-hmm.
and then allow them to go back to the classroom, probably work for a 5 or 6 years, and then if they want to leave, they can do that after, because by the time they would work for the period of 6 years or so, then whoever comes in, they'll be able to train them.
Yes.
So they could probably consider doing something like that, because no matter what, the teachers are going to leave. They're going to leave. And yeah, teachers are underpaid everywhere,
Yes.
right? But most times it's an opportunity, because some come, they will teach for the 3, 5 years, and they probably end up switching careers. Because some of the teachers that came up with me during my time, they switched to nursing, right? Probably in Jamaica that will be more difficult, because they'll probably have to go back to
The
the
basic.
basic, probably go back on campus, while
Yes.
here it's more accessible, because you have a lot of universities online, probably close by, that can offer them a program to transition to nursing. A lot of them did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna work on that workshop
Going back to
for going
Jamaica.
back to Jamaica.
Yes.
So what was some of your tough times?
Living in North Carolina, not knowing anyone.
Wow.
Because, in Jamaica, you know who live next door to you. Because growing up, I had my cousins next door to me. If I need a cup of sugar, I can call to them. I live in an apartment where I don't know anyone,
And
right?
that's why I'll say, and I've said it before, that
Mm-hmm.
America can be a lonely place.
Very.
If you don't have a support base, it can
Mm-hmm.
be, because I lived in apartments where I don't know anybody. Like, even now where I live, I only say hello to people,
Right.
those who want to be acknowledged, and
The only form of communication have is when you go to school with your colleagues, are
yes,
right. But when you're home, unless you come with a family, but
yes.
you don't know who live next door to you. You're probably alone in the wilderness waiting for the one to come matches. Yeah, so it can be
So
difficult.
how easy it is to, you'd say, either join a community or form a community where you're not that lonely.
So a lot of Jamaicans come every year on the program, and before you move to your location or your school district, sometimes there are probably a couple teachers going to the same school district as you. So
Yes.
sometimes you end up becoming friends with them. And sometimes when you go to the school, there are probably teachers who are from Jamaica who are there already. And your mentor usually lives in the same area.
Area.
So
But is your mentor generally a Jamaican, if it like, oh, you're from Jamaica,
no,
or
it
it's
can be
just like
It can be from anywhere because you
Anywhere.
have teachers from come here from all over the world.
Yes.
Because I think my mentor was from Spain. I think my year, yes, he's from
Interesting.
Spain. He was here teaching Spanish. So they do recruit Spanish teachers, Mandarin teachers, um, teachers from a lot of countries. So you're gonna find a lot of teachers here from all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, from a community, so you're like, so your experience won't be so lonely.
Lonely, yeah, because
Yes.
you definitely need that support
Go
system.
out to a bar and have a drink
Right.
and
Because you
meet
won't know
people.
anybody next door to you. Nobody really cares.
If you're
Right.
single, go
Go
mingle.
mingle. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot of food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have come to the end of our conversation talking about moving from Jamaica, coming on the teacher program, VIF, now participate, teach Savana and others. Um, Otis, I want to thank you for sharing your experience and being so open about your experience coming on the program and also helping someone who wants to make that transition
Mm-hmm.
and take that bold step coming here. It's not a bed of roses, but within all of that, there's still a lot of gems and a lot of knowledge to
A
learn,
lot. A
to
lot.
gain.
Yep.
So, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. And also leave your thoughts or comment in the comment section below if you